Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 back at it. We're doing a double upload, maybe a triple upload. I've been grinding on DB. It's 4:21 a.m. I've been really grinding, bro. I haven't even slept yet. Jesus. Today we're going to be showing you guys a really cool matchup. Technically, it's supposed to be my worst matchup. I'm showing you guys some more content with my BUSTER control deck. It's just been really fun, bro. It's just been cool, man. I could play fire, I could play murmur, I could play whatever type of deck I wanna. You know what I'm saying? DB is free, but I like BLADER control. I love my dragon cards, bro. So this is actually my worst matchup. This is BLADER control, specifically versus BUSTER BLADER. And you guys are going to see how I meticulously dismantled that threat every time. I did end up 2-0ing this guy, just a spoiler alert, and I did out his BUSTER BLADER fusion both times. It's just not that kind of format right now, because like without the dragon, like SP Little Knight always checks it anyways. Yeah, you guys, so we're just going to get right into it. So we went RPS, he did rock, I did scissors. The one time I don't choose paper. Opening hands, brick, droplet, judgment, strike, big guy. This hand is completely unplayable. Even if he's going first, he has no engine. If he's going second, his hand's terrible. This is actually just really, I don't even like this build. My hand is looking pretty nice because I see two Bestials and I'm very happy. I do have Darken. That's a good going second card. It pushes through boards like crazy. It's an inherent summon. It's pressure. I got Fuwalos. You know, that's kind of nice. If I'm going first, it's whatever. And then I also hard drew, kind of not a brick, but like I'd rather search it off. Hard drew the Full Metal. Still a crazy card, by the way. This card's absolutely insane in Bestial control. So let's get started. Both of our hands are pretty poo, though. If we're both playing against meta and I lose the dice roll, I basically have two going second cards. And if this gets ashed, this is going to be really easy to play through. So I want to say both our hands are pretty poo. He's just going to, holy Jesus, let me just turn off the thingy. He's just going to set 3, reveal his guy, and pass. So he has double Solomon droplets versus like my hand. I'm going to start by discarding Lubellion. I'm going to grab my mag. I'm just trying to check and see if he's on lab specifically. So I'm like checking for hand drops. I'm checking for ash because I know my hand can play through it. And then I think, oh, you know what? Since he didn't ash my Lubellion, I'm going to go in with the Fuwalos because I wanted the Fuwalos to also be like a backup pressure. Because like I felt like if this is lab, Fuwalos is more pressure than Lubellion is currently. Because Sarnair can still access Lubellion regardless and I could still get into mag. So I'm just checking for ash. Then I'm going to activate Sarnair by banishing my Lubellion, because I'm just going to get another one anyways. I'm going to inherent summon, banish my Borload fusion, and then I'm going to go to battle phase, and I'm just going to look and see what he has. He's under for Walos, and I have Ash, so I'm thinking if this is lab, I'm going to Ash the first welcome, and if he actually has a second one, then I'm definitely going to be drawing, and I'm just going to put him in that situation where he has basically one interruption, and I'm going to clock him right now. So he takes the damage, so that makes me feel like he doesn't have a welcome trap, because why wouldn't he just activate it and protect his life points? So I go into main phase 2, I activate my guy to get my Omni Negate, he strikes me. This still makes me feel like I'm playing against lab. I'm like, he must have really not drawn the engine, and he doesn't want me to be able to negate it when he finally does get to engine. On reds, he's going to Lord of Heavenly Prison here. That's totally fine, I ain't scared. And he's going to actually set Branded Fusion and then confirm to me that he's not playing Labyrinth. And then after that, I'm like, oh, this is free. Alright, we don't even got to worry. So I'm going to go ahead and go Eruption, or Evaporator, or whatever his name is, to summon my Borload Furious. Trigger Sarnair to dump my Lubellion. That's why I banished the Lubellion. And then I'm going to go ahead and Borload Furious, target himself and one of the back rows, check to see if it's real, because I can play through this easy. I know it's a simplified game state already. I know I'm going to Ash the Fusion. I'm just going to resolve mag, summon Lubellion, and I'm big chilling. So I hit the droplets. We're going to activate the mag. We're going to go ahead and target the Sarnair. We're actually setting ourselves up for future plays because I do play the BLADER Dispatter. And I like to go Dispatter to get back into Sarnair, because like once you have Branded Regain up, you just give yourself all the options. He's going to try and Judgment my mag. Then I realize, okay, this guy might actually be a bozo. Whenever I see people playing like control decks on DB, oftentimes they're not good. They really don't know what they're doing, and that explains exactly why they're eating glue. So I'm like, oh, now everything makes sense. This is why you're playing a not complicated deck, you know? This is why you're eating glue. Okay. And so I resolve my mag. which means I'm probably just going to win now because the game state is totally simplified. He has one unknown and a branded fusion that's not resolving, so I'm like, oh yeah, we're just going to get regain and we're going to win here. He's going to negate my inherent summon with Judgment. I let him know that it's inherent since he messed up and tried to negate the summon of Mag. I'm just trying to give him a chance to use it. I don't want him to feel defeated, like, oh, I can't use Judgment anymore. I resolve my Mag. I get Black Metal for follow-up. I know this is a slower deck, so I'm not going to die. Or I would have grabbed a BUSTIAL if I felt threatened, but I felt confident I wasn't going to die. He fusions. I Ash him. He summons Whelp, and then I'm like, oh, it's this deck. This is a bad matchup. That's the first thought that crossed my mind. But then I'm like, oh, nah. He ain't cooking, bro, because he's locked under fusion, so he can't get this guy in grave, because in order for the full lock to happen, you need to have like a dragon in your graveyard for the trap combo to get out Buster Dragon and the destruction guy. So I realize I'm safe for a turn. And I'm safe including on my turn, because he needs to get this in grave for him to pull out the fusion, because the trap only summons the synchro. He tries to activate the Buster Whelp. It summons a Buster Blader from hand or grave. That was trouble. When I saw him do that, I was like, oh dang, that's trouble. I might literally lose here. But this guy's only Buster Blader while on the field or in the grave. So I think he's just, yeah. It is the better target though if you're playing the Buster Blader deck. So I just need a refresher because I remember playing this deck with like Dogmatic cards back in the day. It's a cool control deck. It's a good meta call. I feel like anybody that's on Typhon right now, Typhon just cooks this deck. Typhon cooks Branded. SP checks so much. It's just pretty crazy. If you don't have the Synchro, if you can't keep the Synchro up, it's only good against specifically Dragon decks. I draw Fuarlos. I activate it because I know he's going to commit the trap and give me my draw. I normal Black Metal. I know that he can't do anything to me because I actually conveniently know how this deck works, and the trap alone does not get out the fusion that ends my life. So I grab Random D, and I basically just get to play Solitaire here, because I know he has to have at least one interruption. I make one miscalculation. I look at this card and I see 300. I'm like, oh, he has 300 attack. I'm going to go to battle phase and just end the duel. And then when I catch myself realize, oh, it's 400 attack, 300 defense, you bozo, stacks, you're tripping. I don't even attack it. And that's because I don't want to put it in grave and kill myself because of prologue, right? So that was like heads up for me to catch my mistake before it's too late. And then he's like, this guy's funny. This time I realized, oh yeah, he really is a bozo. He's like, no battle phase, no attack? Like he wants this engraved so bad, bro. He's like, no, I bet you if I would have said, no, I meant to attack, he would have said, oh, it's okay then. You could go back and attack. People be, bro, desperately trying to win by any means necessary. So I'm going to go Red MD here, and I'm going to cook. I'm going to get Mag back. I'm totally chilling. And then I'm going to send him off for Lubellion, place my Regained. This Black Metal economically was the best tempo swing that I could have got off resolving the first Mag. This deck's so meticulous and so good. It's actually kind of a sleeper deck, this format. I feel like BUSTER control is actually kind of crazy. It has a snowballing multiplicative factor that one card turns into multiple cards that also accrue additional cards, and they also turn to disruptions while also giving guaranteed follow-up. So Black Metal literally basically got me into Seal and Regained, and that doesn't look like a lot, but I also resolved the Mag. So I basically, Black Metal allowed me to resolve Mag, get Sealed, and Regain. And like, I'm chilling. Then I'm going to Ball Drake on end phase. And I'm going to put the Red MD back in my deck so I can just like keep doing stuff with it. And then I draw into this bad boy, which is actually really good in control matchups. You just summon him and go boom with the fusion. And then I'm chilling because I'm like, if he tries to, the first thing that he's going to have to do, and what I'm thinking is like, he's going to have to, because I have a bunch of dragons, so this is kind of crazy. He's going to have to like link this off. So the first thing I'm thinking is just like, how do I actually make sure that this doesn't stay on the field? But then you're just going to see what happens, right? He draws, okay, this is letting me know his deck is really like kitchen sink, you know what I'm saying? So next play, so he's asking me if I have anything in his main phase. I tell him he has Prio. He's like, anything? I'm like, okay, he definitely might not be the best. So he's going to go Whelp. I'm going to go Seal. And since he didn't do what I thought he was going to do, I bounced the Prison because I don't even want him to be able to resummon this and get advantage. And then I'm going to do something really funny. It doesn't come up that much. I'm going to go Seal Effect to summon Aluber, because when I realize he made a mistake, I'm going to capitalize off it. So I summon Aluber so I can specifically Snatch Steal his Whelp, so that way he doesn't have an opportunity to get engraved this turn so that the trap can kill me, right? This is a pretty heads-up play, and it doesn't come off that much. Most of the time, Seal summons something completely different. This also puts him in rotation off Regain so that I start making Dispatter. This deck just goes echelon on echelon in card economy. So I think he's just going to go ahead and commit. He's going to dump the trap, dump the guy. He's going to summon out the Synchro, and that's totally fine. I'm just double checking, and I'm going to activate Regain. He's like, he didn't banish anything. I'm like, you summoned. So I bring back my mag, and this is the third mag I've resolved. It feels so good. I mean, dude, do you guys have any idea how it feels to resolve more than one mag? Most decks just can't, you know? They resolve it once, and that's it. He's going to summon the guy. He's going to link them off, because this, by doing this line, like doing this specific combo, and honestly, you can say, Stacks, you should have tributed this guy and banished the dragon. But at the same time, I didn't even want to do that, because like if I tribute him and banish the dragon, actually, you know what? It sucks that it had to be on summon, because it almost would have been better if he summoned the dragon and I could just like, and the dragon's effect was on summon, because then it would take the Buster Blader out the grave, and then I banish it, and then like now I'm really chilling because he can't get this back in grave. So I just know at this point, because he did the Buster Blader combo, the Buster Dragon to summon that guy and then put a dragon in grave, I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna actually let him take the reins here, summon the fusion, because also once I see this play, the heads up that I have is like, alright, that's fine. He had an alternative way to get into it in a different, you know, not a way I expected it. I'm not too familiar with this matchup. I personally thought Buster Dragon could only summon Buster Blader during the opponent's turn. I forgot it was actually just on your turn, so I didn't feel like afraid at all. I had his effects backwards, so I'm going to let him go into the fusion. I got to let him cook a little bit so that he plays in the Typhon territory, because once he does that, I'm just chilling, you know. He's like, he has to have like a judgment or a strike or something, you know what I mean? And he's at 700 life points, so that even includes I can just summon a Link monster, because Link monsters can't be changed to D. That's another reason why this card's just not that great. And he doesn't have the Synchro, so I can make SP, you know what I mean? There's a ton of way of outing it, and I'm just going to do it in the simplest way. I'm going to give his Whelp back. I'm going to resolve my mag. I'm thinking really hard on what I want to add, and I think to myself, I want to add an extender that doesn't require normal summon, that triggers Regain to get a draw, so I can cook even harder, because I'm like, I want all the options available. If I want a Goddess line, if I want a Typhon, I just really want to see, because I'm still mastering this deck, so I definitely want to practice my lines a lot. So I'm just thinking to myself, how do I give myself the most options? Because what is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is if he has a judgment. You know what I mean? But he didn't set it, so that's fine too. I just summoned Typhon here after I drew, and he realizes what happened, and I just bounce it. I could have also just went battle phase and attack, but I wanted to end the duel with the fusion gone, because I play dragons and I have to assimilate. I have to like literally assert dominance. I can't just kill him while his fusion's still there. That card says it's a dragon destroyer. I can't leave that on the field, bro. I have to kill it. So that's gonna be game one. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Game 2, I actually sided a little bit for going second. I sided out like the dead cards. This deck doesn't play into like Imperm or Valor that much. I just kept in like Ash, took out Fuarlos. I drew like a BUSTER hand, and those are my favorite hands, literally. He made me go first. So interesting why he did that. His deck is insane going first against my deck. Maybe he did the reverse side psychology where he makes me side for going second, think I'm going second, and then hopes that I draw bricks. That just, I wouldn't do that. And not when I'm playing a deck that's so good against this deck. So the only heads up play here is I go safer into the, because I think actually my opening hand was with Wyvern Buster, so I safered into the black. And then I summoned Pissy specifically to make Seal, because I need Striker Dragon for later in my combo, because I'm going to Striker and then I'm going to summon IP, and I need this in the EMZ, so that's specifically why I burnt the Pissy first instead of Striker. It's just a sequencing thing. Then we go into Atum after we resolve Mag into my 2 Bestials. I misclick here. And then I'm going to resolve Atum. I feel like every time I resolve this card, I should be winning the duel like off rip. This card is LP. And resolving LP with Seal Up, I just feel like you just get access to everything. You should get a multi-layered 5 to 6 interruption board with follow up and a very strong presence that plays around like pretty much all the board breakers. So I go up into Striker, like I was saying, I go in Black Metal and then I go Red MD. Because I was thinking whether I wanted to link this off, whether I wanted to banish this or link it off. So I just wanted to keep my option open. Then when I conceded that Atum is better, I did just end up banishing the Striker. And then I go into IP. So we're going to go search the Black Metal, set the trap. And then we're going to resolve Mag and actually grab Lubellion here because I'm thinking about my heads up plays. And I knew that Lubellion would be really strong for the crackback. I'm also thinking about Dispatter and having level 4 access to go into Chaos Angel because that's not a dragon. Because so long as the Synchro's not up, you know, it's really easy to out the fusion. So I'm just thinking about options. He's going to start his turn by magging my mag. I ain't tripping. I'm going to get back. I play Dispatter. So he resolves that. He's going to summon the guy. I think to myself, I'm like, this doesn't do anything. But I'm like, oh snap, it's a tuner. It's a tuner. He can make the guy. And I'm like, nah, I don't want him to make the guy. So I go ahead and IP here into SP. And I actually banish the mag and not the guy. He's going to go battle phase. I'm going to seals. I'm going to bounce that back. And then just keeping him off of ways to put dragons in graves so that the trap doesn't truly do anything. So I bounce that guy, banish the mag, because I don't want to bounce mag. That's just crazy. Why would I do that? I summon this guy because I'm just thinking to myself, he's not going to have access to the lock. I'm going to summon out Evaporation so I can start my turn off by having access to the Omni Negate and this guy in rotation because Red MD can bring him back and he can fuse into Borreload Furious. Borreload Furious is just broken against control decks. It's really, really good. It's just quick effect pop. He has Lord of Heavenly Prison. I'm like, oh, well, great. I guess the Borreload Furious play isn't going to work. And he has Trap Trick and Prologue. Pretty nasty, pretty nasty. He's going to in-phase at Phantasme. Yup, pretty crazy. I actually don't play into the Tasmate. If I remember correctly, I don't play into Phantasme at all. But, you know, nice. It was heads up. He put out the Phantasme, so I thought twice about it. But most of the time when I go into links, it's part of my inboard. And very seldom do I use links to close the game out in this deck. I actually don't really use them that often unless I absolutely have to. So I go into, I draw Baldrake for turn. So I'm starting off with SP Omni Negate. I feel really good. The first thing that I'm going to do is just check to see if he does have the Ash. And he doesn't, so I grab my Owlibert. Again, this is just the play I was talking about. Owlibert's kind of crazy. I'm going to go banish my Red MD. This is all heads up because keep in mind, remember I summoned this off of Seals because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Whenever I play this deck, I'm always playing for my next turn and my next turn after that. And you give yourself this like Mangekyo Sharingan hindsight. If you're not a bozo and you know what you're doing, this deck's actually really clean because the lines can definitely enable and facilitate better crackback than just adding follow-up. You actually set a combo up that combos on your following turn. And it's just all about setup, right? Like knowing that I wanted Mac to grab Lubellion because I knew I wanted Owlibert no matter what. Not just for the Dispatter line, but for the banishing Red MD to Dispatter it back so that I can critical mass. So I have all the options I need. If I need to like just go in, I can go in. I'm going to go ahead and summon Dispatter here. I'm not going to really play into Phantasme. I'm going to Dispatter into Red MD. And then I'm going to Red MD into this guy. This is, again, heads up. I summon him off of Seals because I knew what I wanted to do with him on my turn, you know. And then I'm going to activate the guy to fuse. And I'm going to use him plus Red MD because I want that pressure. I know he revealed Heavenly Prison, so these guys can't be popped. But I also know that if he doesn't want to die, he's going to want to summon this guy, which means that once he's summoned, I can clear the last back row. I'm just trying to check what I lose to, identify it, and play around it. So I keep Omni Negate plus Pop. I do have a Monster Negate with Dispatter, but I go ahead and summon Lubellion to actually get the regain because this is better for real estate. Because if he does summon, I get Dispatter back anyway, so I keep the bodies, the critical mass to go for game. I go to battle phase. I make only one mistake. I should have attacked with SP. But I knew that if he did what I thought he was going to do, I was going to negate his card and burn him for 3,000. So that means all I needed was an attack with full metal and any other thing on my field, including like this guy. Because this guy's at 38 right now, I believe. Yeah, he's at 38, and it should be hitting for 54. That's well over 5,000. So even though I made a mistake just by attacking with the wrong monster, I knew I had game either way. because I knew he was going to want to summon Lord of Heavenly Prison because he doesn't want to die. So he's going to activate Trap. I don't negate it. I'm not scared of Buster Dragon. I know he's going to go into the Swordsman. And then I thought about it later. I was like, oh, wait, you know what? I did kind of goof up because I keep forgetting that this is also the fusion material to make the Swordsman. So then I'm like, oh, dang, I should have negated it. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Because also, this is kind of a broken card because it sends them for cost. So, like, even though, yeah, I negate the trap, like, it's kind of crazy that he could still have a chance to make the fusion if he just gets the materials. And notice how I play around Phantasme, because also, if that summons on the field, I have to get rid of it. And then it puts a dragon in grave so he can make the fusion. So I'm just trying to play as heads up as I can and as cautiously as I can. He's going to summon the Heavenly Prison like I thought he would, and that puts the 3k damage that I want. I'm going to trigger regain, bring back my Dispatter. This is everything is going according to how I planned it to be, except for me being a goofball and forgetting that it doesn't require a whelp. I keep thinking it needs the level 1 whelps to make the fusion, but it's just any dragon. I'm like, Stacks, just read your cards. You're like, you had it in bag and you just fumbled. So I go Borreload Furious, target the Full Metal in this card, because this trap makes it to where it can't be, actually, I think I messed up here. Yeah, let me see. It can be destroyed by monster spells. Also, your opponent. Okay, I didn't mess up. Because I knew Metamorph said that this guy can be destroyed by spells or monsters. But for a second, I thought it said it can be targeted. But it's only by your opponents. So this is like a free pop with Furious. You pop this in the back row. It's pretty nice. It's a cool interaction in this deck. He goes Chain 2 Trap Trick. I'm just going to negate that because that's the only other thing he can activate. I burn him for 3k like I expected, but now I'm realizing that this is not going how I planned. I did everything correctly except for keeping him off of the dragon. I even played around Phantasme just to goof up by letting him summon the Buster. We get a bunch of lag here. I'm going to go ahead and punch that. I'm going to hit the Lord for Dispatter, and then I'm like, oh dang, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and SP this away because he's getting ready to summon out you know what. And I want, and then I decide, oh yeah, and this guy's a machine. I actually thought he was a dragon, because all I knew what I was going to do next was I was like, I'm just going to make Seal and then summon Typhon, bounce that guy, and chill with follow-up and SP and, like, regain. And I have my Born Blanket to protect me. I decided to do something really fun just for funsies. I realized this is a machine later. I put all my dragons to defense, and then I just declare an attack for fun and then say, JK. And then he says, GG's, it has 13,800. Now, keep in mind, I know what this card did. We confirmed it in Game 1. He literally put all these 10 counters on it in Game 1 and said it was, like, at 11,000. So then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to have some fun here. Because it seemed like it was a little bromant. And I attack it, and then I immediately, like, if you go in log, it's actually literally 2 seconds after I attack, I typed JK. Then he says, GG's, it has 13,800 defense. Like, I don't know what it does now, right? I've been playing around this card this whole entire time. I know exactly what it does. And I say, bro, it's a joke. He said, sorry, can't prove that. You declared an attack on him. Then I realized, oh, no. I thought he was cool. Never mind. I shouldn't even have joked with them. Because people are desperate. People with no skill would do anything for a win, including freaking Shark, bro. They'll slow play, they'll win in time, they'll call you for having tokens, there are months, any Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are not supposed to be in your token sleeve. They'll do anything, bro, anything. So then I'm like, I attacked and immediately said JK. I know exactly what he says. He said, he lied actually here. He said, you said that after I said how much defense. I said JK, then he said how much defense it is. He said that I said JK, because when I said, look, I was like, I attacked it and I immediately said JK. He said, no, you said it after I said how much defense he has. That's a lie. You can see right here. I said, just kidding, before he told me how much defense it is. Because I didn't even have to count. I literally see 9 and all these. I'm like, even if I only had 2 dragons on the field, this thing has more defense than my guy's attack. So now he's just trying to shark me, and it's just like funny. And I was like, no, I did not. I said that before. He's like, you declared. And he's basically trying to make it to where, since you declared, you can't take it back. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. Are you kidding me? Is this really how you want to win? Like, or do you just want to, like, actually win the duel? So we clear it up. He finally lets it go because I think he realized, like, that's reaching super hard. I told him, stop trying to get a free win off me. I was just having fun with it. We lag a bunch. Main phase 2, I make Seal. I slap Typhon on my full metal. I get rid of that guy because every time this combo, as long as Typhon exists, this deck is just probably never going to be good. Like, honestly, because the combo immediately plays in the Typhon, and you just Typhon it away. And it's like all those resources for what? He scoops, and then he says, full of... Okay. I think he's cussing me out. But yeah, that's the match. So you got 2-0. This is my worst matchup, but probably not the best pilot. Not the best player, if you ask me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all have a beautiful day. Deuces is wild. DB's full of bozos. I'm going to keep grinding. Peace.